Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Marge O'Donoghue and Sonia Mansfield, talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Marge O'Donoghue, and my cohort and creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. We are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. We have a baseball Americana creep to talk about today. And if this is your first time listening, just so you know, at the end of every episode, we pick somebody who is not a creep, so you don't leave feeling a little dejected about the world. Today may be a little different with that section. You'll find out when we get there. But we are always looking for suggestions, and the best place to reach us in our Facebook group. We do have a basic Facebook page, but that's a place where people like to go to complain about our language. This is your warning. We use salty language in this program.
Shit, fuck, damn.
Like that. Just like that. So if you want to interact with us, the best place to do that is in the Facebook group, and you type in What a Creep podcast group. You do have to answer a few questions in order to join because Facebook is a cesspool and we have to be really careful about the people we invite in.
Yes.
And they know our vibe and they know what we're about. So just answer a few questions. Promise not to be a shithead. You'll come in. And we do talk about creeps. We also talk about non-creeps. We talk about pop culture, all kinds of things. It's a nice place to hang out. Other places you can find us. Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. All those places we're at What a Creep Podcast. And we have an old-timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you would like some stickers, email me and I will drop them in the mail for you. I'm planning to do another drop in the next week or so. So send us, wherever you are on the planet of Earth, send us your address and I will drop them in the mail for you. Sonia.
She will do it.
I will. Dare me.
Yeah.
Sonia, do you want to talk about the website?
Yeah. Always. It's at whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you want to know about the show, but we're afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. But if you are, you can go there and you can open up each of the blog posts and you could see our show notes because we source everything we do. We're not making any of this stuff up. We want to give people credit for their hard work. If you're looking for a deeper dive on any of our creeps, fabulous place to start. We also have a link to our merch shop where you can get t-shirts and tote bags, and you might want to get those face masks, and you could get pillows and all kinds of cool things. Notebooks, all the stuff.
All the stuff.
Whatever you need. We also have a link to our Patreon. Want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon. That is a place. We're on our season 30 here. And when we do a season, we usually do about 10 to a dozen episodes. We have our first 10 seasons on the Patreon wall.
10
of them. And there's lots on there to latch on to. So that's a thing that you get if you sign up to pay for our Patreon. We also put out 2 bonus episodes a month. And in those bonus episodes, we offer an audio and a video version so you can see our pusses and us talking, giggling back and forth. We talk about shit that's happening in the news, pop culture, that kind of thing. We shoot the shit, basically. And I always forget to mention this, but this is really important. I also put there for the Patreon members who pay, because you can sign up for free. We occasionally put stuff there for free. But if you pay, we have an ad-free version of the show. That is if you sign up for Patreon. So for those of y'all that are really annoyed with that, really inexpensive. I know people who charge a hell of a lot more for their Patreons.
No. I actually think ours are super affordable. I have a couple of podcasts that I sign up for to get ad-free versions, and they are more expensive than us. So
yeah.
I think we do try to keep it reasonable. And I do want to give a shout out to those first 10 seasons that are behind the wall, because a lot of people were asking for creeps that I was like, that's in the first 10 seasons. It's behind the paywall, so they don't know about that. So go check it out.
Yes. All right. So we don't have any reviews this week. So y'all, please, if you like the show and you want to show your support and you're like, I'm poor, I can't sign up for Patreon. We get it. No worries. If you can just leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. That could be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, whatever it is. Please leave us a review. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Ask for a sticker, put on your laptop, go to the coffee shop, just wave it around to people. Say, hey, do you know about this show? You should check it out. Just tell a friend about the show. That would be amazing.
That's plenty.
Yes. All right, Sonia.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk about our creep today?
Yes. Let's batter up. Okay.
Batter up.
This week is the All-Star break for Major League Baseball. So thank you, Jennifer, for the recommendation of talking about Marge Schott, which is the former owner of the Cincinnati Reds. Sources for this episode: ESPN, the New York Times, NPR, Sports Illustrated, and Wikipedia. Yeah, New York Times. It's in there. Okay. Marge Schott was the owner of the Cincinnati Reds from 1984 to 1999. She was the second woman to own a Major League Baseball team without inheriting it. Like quite a few women inherited
Yes.
baseball teams
Yeah.
from like husbands or uncles.
Same in football
or,
and basketball. Yeah.
Yes, but she actually bought it. Like, so she's the second woman to do that. And when she first started, she seemed to be a good fit. She was someone who was really active in like Cincinnati charities, like the local children's hospital, the zoo, even the university there. But it wasn't long before she revealed herself to be a racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and Nazi sympathizing creep. Oh, good times. So let's start like we always do at the beginning. Let's play ball. Margaret Caroline Underwear. It sounds like underwear, but there's no D in there.
Underwear.
Underwear.
Okay.
Born August 18th, 1928 in Cincinnati. She was one of 5 daughters. Her father, Henry, her mother, Charlotte. Her grandfather was someone who made a shit ton of money making like cigar boxes for
yeah.
cigars. Yeah. So he made like a ton of money. The dad owned a very successful lumber business. So she grew up really well
Wealthy.
off. Went to like private Catholic school, went on to the University of Cincinnati. She says that her dad was very like masculine, very like he used to ring a bell when he wanted his wife to come to him for something, like she's a dog. And she also said that when she was 21, she went to vote and he told me who to vote for. And I said, yes, daddy. Gross.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. She attended the University of Cincinnati, but she dropped out when she met Charles Schott, who was a member of a wealthy family in Cincinnati. And that was in 1952. And they seemed to really love each other. And he really I guess for lack of a better word, spoiled her. Like he bought this 70-acre estate in like a really posh section of Cincinnati known as Indian Hills. And she threw a lot of fancy parties, usually like charity events to like raise money and stuff like. And she does a lot of charity work. So I'll mention it because when our creeps do good things,
Right.
we do point it out. But he would he went to work every day and she stayed around the house and threw fabulous parties and charity benefits and all of those things. He bought her an elephant. That's right. Bought her an elephant, like you do, that they named Shotzi. They donated it to the zoo, by the way. They didn't like keep it on their own property. And then, it lived for a while, it died. And then he bought her another one. And that one was named Princess Shotzi. It also went to the zoo. But he died of a heart attack in 1968. He was 42.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
that's terrible.
Young.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, that must have been shocking.
So she is left widowed at 39. No children. They couldn't have kids.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and she really wanted kids, but it wasn't in the cards for them. So she's 39, widowed, no children, but she inherited all of his businesses. So it was an auto dealership in Cincinnati. He had insurance companies, like brick manufacturing, like a concrete company. He owned landfills. He owned
Wow.
all kinds of stuff. She never did remarry, by the way, either. She was single for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, yeah, girl, you're rich. Do whatever the fuck
too
you
old
want.
to have
And
her own kid. Well, if she wanted to have kids of her own, she's too old for it.
yeah, I'm saying, bitch, do whatever you want. You're rich.
Yeah.
She did, by the way. She did whatever she wanted. She used to like host these auctions to raise money for like the Cincinnati's Children's Hospital. And when she was doing that, she would meet all these Cincinnati Reds players. And after that, she became like a big fan of the team and she would, watch the games and go to the games. And then in 1981, she bought a minority interest in a couple of shares on the team that was headed by William and James Williams. I love that his name is William Williams, weirdos.
It's like
Anyway.
Smith on
Yes.
Sex and the City.
Yes. These two brothers owned a majority of the team, and she owned like a very small part of that team, but she had big feelings. She had no problem talking about like what she believed to be mismanagement of the team. She talked all kinds of shit in the press and to just fans that she would meet wherever, like in restaurants, on the street, in the grocery store, like wherever she went. She was like a really outgoing person. Like when she bought, like she would wear all the gear and like she smoked all the time and just, very, very
Marge Schott, I mean, the way I would think of her is like, could you think of those old ladies at the Catholic churches that play bingo? And they have like all their tchotchkes on the table around them for good luck. Like that's a Marge Schott to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very accurate.
Yeah.
So then in 1984, like they were interested in selling the team and she bought a controlling interest for like $11 million,
which is
quite a bargain.
Yeah, for the time.
Like, yeah. And that made her an actual partner. And again, that makes her like the second woman to actually like buy a team. When asked if she's a feminist, she would say, she would no.
Yeah, of course.
She says, the women I admire most are the women who are wives and mothers. All I ever wanted to do was stay home and have kids, all boys. And we've talked about this sort of thing before. It's like the women who benefit from feminism, but then claim to not be feminist. It's like, that's a big thumbs down for me. It's like, how about, I am feminist. I think women should be able to do what they want.
Yeah. Be treated equally. That's all.
Because that's what you want. You want it for you, but not for you. Just me, not you. She has said, like, she wanted all boys, and then she's like, so I bought a baseball team and now I have 25 big sons, and it's a very expensive mothering job is what she would call it. Yeah. And then by 1985, she's like fully like president and CEO of the baseball club. And they had a decent run. Like 5 years later, they win the World Series, which, they hadn't been done in a gazillion years, apparently. And they swept the Oakland A's in the World Series. Boo. And for a while, fans really liked her. Like she kept ticket prices and like food prices really low. She was pretty insistent. This is very similar to the Costco thing that like the hot dogs needed to be $1, so people could buy it. And like those fancy box seats were like $12.
Wow.
Which is, so I looked it up, and now those kinds of seats go for $230 to $800 per ticket. Per ticket.
It used
that
to
shit
be
is
cheaper
expensive.
to go to a ball game. It used to be like a major league ball game. You could always go to a minor league game, but like major league, they used to have. I mean, it used to be affordable, and it's now like they've made so much money.
So much money that it's
stadiums.
really, really,
but it's
really
driving away. Yeah, a whole
It's still like, it's very, very expensive. I love to go to baseball games and I try to get free tickets whenever I can because that shit's fucking expensive. And if you want to sit in a really fancy seat, you are looking at like $200 at least.
And then that's not counting the food because everything, it's like $5 for a hot dog now or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even more than that. And if you want a beer, it's like $13 to $15.
Jesus.
It's really, so much for the national pastime, my friends.
Yeah.
But she had her like regular box seat at the stadium. She often signed autographs. She had a whole thing where like kids were allowed to run on the field like before the games and after the games, which is a thing that a lot of ballparks do now. They have a whole thing after, especially on Sundays when the game is over, the kids can go out and like run the bases and stuff. It's very cool.
That's cool.
And And, she'd be there like smoking away. And she also would bring her pet Saint Bernard with her.
Aw.
And her pet, I love Saint Bernards.
Oh, they're rough to raise. They're big dogs.
Yes. Yeah, and they don't live a long time either.
No,
it's really
those bigger ones don't.
It's so sad, but
know.
they're so cute. And
It's like
the
bulldogs.
Saint
They're
Bernard,
just like,
yes,
oh. They're
I
so
know.
cute, but
they're so cute.
but they can't breathe, and they're just all those problems.
I know.
Yeah,
This one was named Shotzi,
of course.
similar to the elephants, Yeah, and she would bring Shotzi with her everywhere, and apparently, like, Shotzi would also, like, go on the field and, like, take a dump and things like that, which it's AstroTurf.
Shotzi's got a Shotzi.
Yeah, I'm like, make a grass area for Shotzi. Poor Shotzi. But anyway, she eventually became one of the most hated owners in baseball, and we'll start with this. She was cheap, like, with running the team. It's actually kind of weird that she would keep food and ticket prices low, but she was cheap in other ways. So she, similar to the A's, by the way, the A's get criticized for this, the whole Moneyball thing.
Yes.
Like, yeah, she didn't like to spend money on like going after contenders. She didn't like to spend a lot of money on recruiting players. She didn't like to have scouts go to games and like, all these teams have scouts that go to like minor league games and you find players, and she didn't like that. She's like, I'm not going to pay someone to sit on their ass and watch baseball. So fans would get pissed off. Like,
right.
We want like good players so that we can like get excited and root for them. And
why am I going to pay money to show up to watch a team lose all the time?
It's depressing.
It's depressing. Like, because it's already a slow game. I mean, I know you love
yes,
but I love to watch games in person, but it is slow. It's a slog, and to watch people, this team that you're supposed to be rooting for, and they're just constantly like getting their asses kicked. It's not fun.
Yes, it is definitely not fun. So that would piss people off, and she would publicly complain about like having to pay players that are on the disabled list. It's like, girl, they hurt themselves. She also kept like the smallest, like lowest paid staff in the front office for her team. Like, she would also like make them turn off the heat and make sure the lights were always like, you're shutting off lights just to save on electricity. Like,
wow.
Yeah, a real penny pincher that way. Again, like, so generous in other ways and really stingy in other ways. When the team won the World Series in 1990, she was like not even happy about it because and you should be happy when your team wins the World Series because her team swept the A's. Like, they won, like, boom, 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 boom. They won 4 games in a row, and she was pissed that it didn't drag out longer so that they could make more money off games 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, I thought she was going to complain about the champagne in the locker room.
So she was so pissed about it, she refused to pay for any post-game celebration for the team.
Oh, what an asshole.
It's like such a bitch move, like such an asshole move. The players had to like pay for their own celebration. And one of the players, Eric Davis, like actually like got hurt during one of the games. He like lacerated a kidney or something while diving for a fly ball. Yeah, and then she wouldn't pay to like get the like medically equipped plane to like fly him home. Like, I'm like,
awful.
It's so awful.
That is awful. That is just inexcusable.
It's insensitive. And like these people, I know people are like, oh, they get paid an awful lot to play a game. We've talked about this with the NFL too.
All the sports.
Yes.
They ruin their bodies for us. At the time of their lives, their early 20s, their 40s and 50s and 60s are rough because they're dealing with all those injuries like left over from that.
Yes.
I mean,
there's a reason why they're paid that much, and it's because they have a small window in which they can work.
And everybody else makes a shitload of money off of that effort. So they do deserve like the share of that. Yes.
Exactly. So I mean, the main reason she's hated, of course, is because she's super racist and homophobic and anti-Semitic. She's a real triple play, if you will. She referred to 2 of her outfielders as her $1 million N-words.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She also, one time was on a, owner's conference call, and she said, "I would never hire another N-word. I would rather have a trained monkey working for me."
Oh my God. She means in the office or in.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She did this on an owner's call, a conference call. They all heard her.
No,
So
the owners and their secretaries. Let's just be clear. It's not just
Yeah.
the owner on the call. They have a bunch of people on that call. Yeah.
Yes. So she was fined $250,000 and she was banned from day-to-day operations of the team. And that was for the 93 season. But she comes back,
Mhm.
she owns the team. It just means she's not in there causing problems, basically. So she comes back for the 94 season, and she's at some Treasurers Association meeting or whatever, and she says that she doesn't want any of the players wearing earrings because only fruits wear earrings.
Did she say fruits or the other F word?
No, she said fruits.
How very Pauline of her.
I know. I'm like, okay.
Very 70s, that term, but okay.
I'm like, girl, grow up. She had apparently one of her employees was Jewish, and he said that he went to her house and she had a Nazi swastika armband in her home. And he also overheard her say things like sneaky goddamn Jews are all alike and stuff like that. She's very anti-Semitic. And then when confronted about the armband, she was like, it was a gift from a former employee. I'm like, well, that's suspicious. Why is a former employee comfortable giving you Nazi shit?
And why are you comfortable keeping it? You can get rid of a gift. You don't have to keep it just because it gives it to you.
Yeah, no, she's, and by the way, she's a notorious regifter, and that's going to come up here. She could have gave that away. Why don't you give it to someone else?
This reminds me of, I'm sorry, the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Could I just do a little tangent here?
Yeah.
So the man that owned the house in real life was a man named Jim, and I'm forgetting his last name. Kevin Spacey, former creep, played him in the movie.
Yes.
Right. So they were filming he was in Savannah, Georgia. He had this gorgeous home in Savannah, Georgia. I've been there. It's incredible. And they were filming a Civil War movie on his block, and he didn't want them to film on his block. He didn't like it. So they had all these cameras everywhere, and they were telling everybody, please shut your drapes or whatever, because you could see TV screens and stuff like that through the window. So they asked you to do that. And he not only did not do that, he would blare music and they would still film because they could just do post later. He had a thing for Nazi Germany. He had an interest in World War II, he called it. But he had a Nazi flag that he flew from his house in Savannah.
Oh my God.
On the street to get them to stop filming. And they're asking, there's actually a large Jewish population in Savannah, Georgia. Not a lot of people know that. But they're what are you telling people when you're showing that symbol? And
he's just cool with it.
Right.
He's cool
he
with
thought
it.
he was, I'm just a World War II buff. What are you talking about? I'm not into Nazis. I'm just it's history. Anyway, it's fucked up.
These people.
It's fucked up.
People.
You're anti-Semitic and a shithead.
Yes.
If you do
she
that.
She did a big interview with Sports Illustrated, and they have actually a really famous cover. She's on the cover and she's smoking, and the smoke is all this stuff. During that interview, she was doing a cartoonish Japanese accent while describing meeting the Prime Minister of Japan.
Is it very Mickey Rooney-esque?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
God.
it is. She also had this manager named Davy Johnson. Davy Johnson. And she announced in the middle of the season, I don't care how well the team does, he's out of here. And it turns out it's because he was living with his fiance and they weren't married yet.
Oh, for God's sakes. In 95?
She finds out about what the players do.
In the 90s?
95.
Oh, for God's sake. I remember Bing Crosby saying that to Barbara Walters. Did you ever see that clip? Yeah. My kids lived with somebody they were married to. I disown them. Like,
It's
the
so
guy who cheated on
ridiculous.
every wife that he had. I mean,
Yes. By the way, my grandmother also had a thing about us living with people before, and
yeah,
I
it's a
was like,
grandma
but
thing.
I was like, well, we're gonna do it anyway. Like,
Yeah.
do what you got to do. But it feels super fucking offensive, and I wonder if he could sue. But whatever. He he didn't work for her anymore.
It's not worth it.
So no. So this one's pretty shitty. So because the Reds are one of the oldest franchises in MLB, they get to play the first game of the season at home, and they're playing the Montreal Expos, I guess. And it was really cold and like really, really cold, colder than usual, I guess. And it had snowed earlier in the day and all this stuff, And this umpire named John McSherry is behind home plate. And then before, like, I think they'd played like half an inning or something. And he calls a timeout and he starts walking towards the dugout. And then he like collapses, just falls like face down, like right on the artificial turf. And they tried to resuscitate him and he died there, like on the field in front of
umpire?
all these in front of all these people. So like the umpires are like, we need to postpone this game. And like Schott was like visibly angry that the game was postponed. Like she was so pissed off. She's like, first we get snow and now this. She said, I feel cheated. It is so ridiculous. And then like she says like, well, I was just standing up for the fans who were here for the game, but
I'm
everyone
sure
else
they're
is
okay
like,
with like leaving the game where someone croaked, in the first inning or something.
yes,
Like, why would I want to stick around and watch a game
yes.
when I know
She's
somebody
such an
died? What an asshole.
she's such an asshole. And then she made it worse. So then like
Worse?
yes, even worse. So then like, and obviously all the umpires are like, fuck you, like what
Yeah.
a bitch. And then like she had flowers sent to the funeral home where the umpire is, but it turned out like she was regifting a flower bouquet that she had actually received from like a television affiliate station had sent her for like opening day or whatever, and she like took that card, added a sympathy note, and sent it to the funeral home.
What a fucking asshole.
Such an asshole.
That is such an asshole move. Oh my God.
So the following year, she sits down for an interview with the New York Times, and this is bananas. This is like the kind of thing where you're like, nuh-uh, I actually thought this was made up. I had to make sure that this was real. She actually said, like, Adolf Hitler was okay at the beginning. He just went too far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody else did that recently. Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know, but like I legit thought I was like, that's not real. Like this is like generated by AI or something.
I think it's
was like,
Roald Dahl. I think like he said something like that too.
maybe.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of anti-Semites out there in her generation,
Yes.
especially. Yeah.
Boggles my fucking
Oh
mind.
God.
So the MLB was like, fuck this shit. So then she's banned again for like that season and like through 98. And then she's coming back in 99, and MLB is now making it really clear, like, we don't want you anymore. You need to go away now. So she sells her controlling interest, but she's still a minority owner of the company for a really long time. But she sold it to somebody else. And then she just went back to her charity work after that. And she, again, like started funding exhibits at the zoo. She was funding things at Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati. And they actually like named a stadium after her in like 2006. And it's like,
Oh, for God's sake.
she said all this fucked up shit. And they were like, that's fine. Thanks for the money. Named a
Yeah.
stadium after her. And then like 2020 comes around and like it's all of a sudden they've rediscovered the things that she said like 14 years earlier or whatever. And they've now changed it to like a different name. But also, I was like, you knew the shit she said when you named it after the first time.
It's like when they
it's
do
so
the Michael Jackson auditorium
Yes.
and all that stuff. I know. People have short memories, and then it takes the other generation to go, excuse me.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think we're not looking, we're not paying attention. So ridiculous. So, and she donated a lot to like animal shelters and the Boy Scouts, of course, stuff like that. But she was also a longtime smoker. Sometimes she smoked like 3 packs a day, and not surprisingly, she started developing a lot of health problems. She was like in and out of the hospital a lot. She went in to the hospital in February 2004. And she thought she had a cold, and it was like she had like pneumonia. And eventually she died on March 2nd, 2004. She was 75. And that's our creep.
Wow.
Marge Schott.
She was a big personality.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And racist.
And an asshole.
And anti-Semitic.
What a creep.
Cool.
Wow.
No, a total creep.
No, she's perfect for this show. Okay. So do you want to hear about somebody who's not a creep?
Yes, please.
This is kind of like... I heard the news this morning when I was scrolling TikTok, and it was Stephen Colbert, and he has The Late Show on CBS. It's called The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It was David Letterman was before that, and I forget who had it before David Letterman. But it's been, for those of you who don't know, you're either youngsters or you're from another country. CBS was known as the Tiffany Network. It was built on its journalism. Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite. It was known for being like such a state of between church and state. Like there was the news outlet, and then there was the fun stuff that they like to put out there. And they were very, very serious about it. And I know this just working in New York media. They really took themselves very seriously.
And 60 Minutes was like, it's still like a highly rated show that you don't fuck with 60 Minutes. That's how it used to be.
You didn't fuck with 60 Minutes, especially I'd say in the 70s and 80s. It really was like, Mike Wallace showed up, you were fucked. Like you better. It was terrifying. And they fought for stories, and they fought for, so then who is Julie Chen Moonves, Les Moonves.
Yes. We did an episode on him.
We did an episode of Les Moonves. Les Moonves took over CBS and in the 90s. And when he took over, they had shows like Murphy Brown and Designing Women, Newhart, and these comedies that did very, very well. Murphy Brown was very popular. Designing Women, very, very popular. But guess what? It was all about women. And Les Moonves hates women and really did not like it. So he basically put them out of business to put in shows like CSI and all the 12 CSIs that they have and shows like that.
Yes.
And those shows are, I admit, they're very popular. They've made them a lot of money. I don't know why you can't have both. You can't have a CSI on every night of the week. Why can't we have a Monday night with comedy? Why did you have to get rid of stuff? But he's an asshole. And now, there's who runs Sherry
Lansing.
No, not Lansing. Who runs CBS? I'm going to look this up really fast. Sorry. It's run by the daughter. Let me look this up. For fuck's sakes, Wikipedia.
Well, I know that Larry Ellison's son is now running like Paramount Plus.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'll take this out.
It's okay. I see CBS. Oh, no, that's CBS News.
They have so many things attached to it. Like it's really...
Oh, Wendy McKay. No, that's not it.
Sherry.
Sorry.
It's a Sherry.
Okay.
It's definitely a Sherry.
Oh, Sherry Redstone.
Redstone. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
So Sumner Redstone was in charge of CBS. And now his daughter runs CBS. Sumner Redstone was there for a really long time. She's taken over. And what's happened with broadcast TV here in America anyway is the audience has shrunk like incredibly in the last like 10, 15 years. It's unbelievable how I never check ABC, CBS, NBC ever anymore. I never, I'm on Bravo
Right.
or I'm on Netflix or I'm on the Peacock app. That's where like
Yeah.
I hang out. I mean, it's NBC shows, I guess, but I don't go to that station. I don't go to any of those channels like
Right.
and this is a lot of people are like this. And that's eaten a lot of the profits for some of these organizations. So Paramount is the company that owns CBS now. And Paramount also owned The Godfather. It has all kinds of, tentacles around it, things around it.
Yes.
And so Sherry Redstone, who inherited this job, talking about women who inherit like big jobs,
Mhm.
she wants to sell Paramount or wants to create a deal with a thing called Skynet. It's like it's like out of T2, y'all. I mean,
It absolutely is. There is a merger that they need government approval to
and
make.
this is another thing that's fucked up about our country is that you can't sell your company without the president saying it's okay, that should not be a thing. It should be it's the FTC, sorry, the Federal Trade Commission. They need to okay if you're going to buy or sell your properties because they want to prevent monopolies and stuff like that. But the problem is that who's ever the president of the United States is at the time, they're very much attached to the FTC and they have a lot of power. And who has a lot of power right now in America? Right. And who has the thinnest skin of anybody in America right now?
I know. Such a man-child.
And what happened, I think this was also CBS. I don't know if Laugh-In was a CBS show, but in the 60s
Yes.
and the Smothers Brothers.
The Smothers Brothers.
The Smothers
were
Brothers
CBS.
definitely were CBS. So Smothers Brothers was a show. They had Laugh-In and Smothers Brothers, and it was these shows for the hip kids. That
Yes.
the hippies, the kids that were against Richard Nixon, against the war, like the people who were against the Vietnam War, kind of like the counterculture, you would say.
Yes.
And there was a show called The Smothers Brothers, and it was two brothers, Tommy and Dick Smothers.
Yeah.
And they would play guitar and they would do sketches and skits and shit like that. And they loved to make fun of Richard Nixon, because who doesn't want to make fun of Richard Nixon? He's asking for it. The guy was such a square, and
everybody makes fun of
the president.
Always make fun of the president.
The president's job is to be made fun of. They're all lampooned. Yes. They're all teased. They're all made
of
fun
them.
Of. All of them. It just comes with the fucking job. Deal with it or get over it.
Yes.
And Nixon was very thin-skinned because they would really go after him on that network. And the Smothers Brothers, which had very high ratings for the time, like sometimes like a 20 share, 25 share of the audience, they canceled their show because the president put the kibosh on it, like basically put a lot of pressure on them. Fast forward to 2024 and 60 Minutes, once again, as I said, I mean, for years they were number one. They were the number one show. They were that popular.
They were always in the top 10 shows.
Yes. I mean, it was ridiculously popular. And they always do interviews with the presidential candidates before the election. And it's like a few months before or something. There's like a certain time they do things. And they interviewed, Harris and Trump. And Trump said that her interview was spliced up so that she was made to look good. He has no evidence of this. I mean, CBS actually released the audio, the unedited video and audio of their interview with her to show, like, this is what happened. But Trump is so thin-skinned that he sued CBS because he said that they did that they basically...
that it was manipulation, that you were manipulating the election by making her look smarter than she is. The truth is, like, Trump always accuses people of doing what he is doing. The truth is, a lot of media outlets edit Trump to make him, to sane wash him, right?
Right.
That's what he's accusing them of doing to her.
And it's frustrating for us to see, like, Trump at rallies say ridiculous, stupid things, and then you watch the news, what happened, or you read the New York Times or other places, and they barely mention it. And every little thing she does was like scrutinized to the nth degree. Like it's really ridiculous.
This is a provably false case.
And if they went to trial, he would have lost. They would have
Yes.
lost. It just would not have made it to trial. But Sherry
Yes.
wants to sell this Skynet to Skynet so badly. And they've like fired a bunch of people. They've laid off,
Yes.
like they've reorged there several times. So CBS agreed. And CBS is paying $16 million to President Trump for this bullshit lawsuit. And
It's a bribe.
it's a bribe. It's an absolute bribe. And the president and the executive producer for 60 Minutes quit, and a lot of other people from there have quit because you've just ruined our name. Like, what do we mean anymore when when we interview people, when we say this is really serious? Like, people need to pay attention to this thing. How do I know you're real? How do I know? So Stephen Colbert is our non-creep today, and he announced today that CBS said to him that because of the finances that they're going through, that they are going to end his show next May. His show of all the late night shows, their audiences are shrinking for sure. I mean, like I said, you used to stay up to watch these things, or I would record them, especially like with Letterman. I mean, back in the day.
Yeah. Now people watch clips
on their phones,
on social media, but Colbert is the number one show
by a long shot, by a very long measure. He is far more advanced than Jimmy Fallon, than Jimmy Kimmel, than Seth Meyers. He's doing exceptionally. It's all men, but it's all. So he's doing exceptionally well. But they're taking him out, and he's taking it like a gentleman, because he is a gentleman. But I'm hoping next May he has something to announce, like soon as the show is over. I hope somebody will pick him up, because we need his voice. So let me just end this. Let's end on a nice note. Let's just talk about Stephen Colbert. He's born May 13th, 1964. He was born in D.C., but he was raised in South Carolina. He is from a very large family. His father died in a plane crash with a couple of his other siblings in the early 70s. And it started. The people in the cockpit, they were landing the plane, and there was a delay in landing the plane. And so the people in the cockpit were having a conversation, and basically they got distracted, and they missed something, and that caused the plane to crash. So there became a rule with the FAA that at a certain point, there's no talking absolutely whatsoever in the cockpit. That's because of the flight that his dad was on. And years later, he read the transcripts of like what they were talking about. And it was like people just bullshitting about barbecues and their kids' sports and shit like that. But it was like, wow, that's what was happening. And that's what took half your family away.
Awful.
It's awful. He gets into comedy, and he's into Second City. He's great at improv comedy. So there's the woman that's in the Netflix show, Meg. She was also in Hacks. Stolter. And she's also in the new Lena Dunham show that I haven't seen yet, that it's on my list.
I haven't watched it yet.
But she's doing all these interviews right now, and her whole thing is like she's just goofing on interviews. So it was like she went to an event last night, and she dressed up like a Diet Coke package and was carrying Diet Coke, like she's sponsored by Diet Coke. She went on Colbert, and she had like these long blonde wig, super, super long. And she basically was playing like an airhead actress being interviewed by somebody. And people were like, oh, that's so disrespectful to Stephen Colbert. And the people had in mind, like, this guy was with Strangers with Candy. He was with Second City. He knows comedy. He's an improv guy. Like, that's his jam. Like, he's
naturally funny.
He's actually a very funny person. He had a show on Comedy Central that was very popular that I got to go see a few times, The Colbert Report.
Loved The Colbert Report. It made me laugh so hard.
And he became an international star because of it. They were playing it all over the world. And that's where he basically played a character called Stephen Colbert. Yeah. And Stephen Colbert was kind of a populist, Americana kind of person.
He was like a Bill O'Reilly.
He would interview Bill O'Reilly and call him Big Papa, but he would also like make fun of him to his face. Like Bill O'Reilly, you can't, he's unflappable. The guy just continually can keep his cool. He never seems to lose his temper. He's so quick and he's so funny. And so he's the one that took over for David Letterman. He's been married forever. He has 2 grown kids. He's He's just a very nice man. He's been with The Late Show since 2015. They're very, very popular. He's very popular and very funny and smart and kind. And he's a good person, and he really cares about people, and he cares about decorum and people behaving, a certain way. He's Catholic, and he visited the Pope when there was a bunch of comedians that met the Pope last year before he died.
Yep.
He's a good egg, and we asked our listeners in the Facebook group, give us ideas for suggestions for non-creeps today, and I went through a few of them, and I had to land on him just because I've been reading so much about it today. People are really upset and pissed off about this. It's a shakedown that's happening. And it sucks for the audience. It sucks for America. It really does.
It does.
It's a bad.
Absolutely.
It's setting a very bad example. We have a president that's going crazy right now because of the Epstein files, and he can't get ahead of those. He's used to getting ahead of news cycles with his bullshit, and it's not working this time, which makes him even more evil and upset.
Yes,
and pulling shit. And he was laughing about this, like, oh, good, they'll take Jimmy Kimmel next. I mean, it's Jimmy Kimmel, and by the way, and Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers are very upset. Like they understand Steven is the smartest
I'm sure Jon
one.
Stewart
and
has
Jon
already
Stewart as
issued
well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
because by the way, Comedy Central is also part of
Paramount.
So
that could be
very possible.
Very possible to lose The Daily Show, which is their ratings have gone up since Jon Stewart came back, and have also gone up since Trump has been in office because people are looking for an outlet, and they need an outlet. You have your Fox News, you have your Greg Gutfeld. Let us have
so gross.
It's so gross. It's really upsetting. I think he'll be fine. He's 62.
I'm sure he will.
He's in good health. Like I said, he has a very good reputation. I'm sure somebody will pick him up. He'll be somewhere. He'll land someplace somewhere. And I'm hoping that he goes out in a blaze of glory. I hope he has a really fun time the next, until next May. But that's our not creep this week. Stephen Colbert.
That is a great one. I wanted to say, if you haven't seen it yet, it's streaming on Hulu, is a documentary called Too Funny to Fail. And it is about the
Dana Carvey show.
Dana Carvey show, which was a sketch comedy show that lasted like 6 episodes. And it is so fucking funny. The documentary is so funny. It's Dana Carvey, Colbert was on that show. Steve Carell was on the show.
Louis
and they
C.K.
interview all
writer.
of them. And there's 2 like Colbert ones that crack me up. This sketch always makes me laugh. It's him and Steve Carell, where they're the waiters that don't like food. And like they're trying to read the specials and they can't get through it without vomiting. Makes me laugh so hard every time I see it. And then there's an interview with Stephen Colbert in the documentary where he's talking about how their show is so ridiculous, and they're like making fun of all these things, and they're being so over the top. And then it cuts to the lead-in for their episode was like a very special episode of Home Improvement where like maybe one of the kids has cancer. It's like their show is like, and here's Bill Clinton breastfeeding all these puppies or something. Then it's all tonight in a very special episode of Home Improvement. And he can barely tell the story without laughing so hard he's crying. It's so good. So
Did you ever watch
watch?
Did you ever watch Strangers with Candy? That's an 80s.
I watched it sometimes, not consistently, but every once in a while I would watch it.
Amy
It was hilarious.
Played Jerry. That was like they worked in the school system, and she was trying to get kids off of drugs, and he was like one of the teachers he has a great career. He's very smart. Once again, he's smart, he's witty, he's funny, he's kind, he's a decent human being, and very, 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 very funny. And I'm sure he'll land on his feet wherever he goes.
That's a great pick,
I think like first what we need today, he's our not creep this week.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you like the sound of our voices, We also co-host a show where we talk about movies, and it's called Dorking Out. And the latest episode of Dorking Out, we dorked out about, I'm stalling.
Oh my God, what did we talk about?
Fuck. Okay. Well, we'll just
somewhere in time. Somewhere
Thank
in
you.
time.
Okay. Yeah, that was driving me crazy.
Woo!
Okay. We talked about Somewhere in Time, which was a good episode. We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Yes, we did.
we're gonna be talking about next is Young
Young
Guns.
Guns. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
It's 1988. It's every hunky young actor from 1988 is in this movie. This movie is filled with so many people. I was shocked. I started watching
Yes.
it last night.
This isn't your daddy's Western.
No. And this is a few
That's
years
right.
before Tombstone. So they weren't making a
That's
lot of
right.
Westerns at the time. They certainly were making them to appeal to like a big audience like this was.
Yes.
And it's such a Gen X movie. It's such a Gen X version of a cowboy movie.
So much.
Oh my God. But I'm so
It's
excited
so
to talk
fun.
about that. So that's going to be happening on our next episode of that. But as I said before, we are always looking for suggestions for creeps and also for non-creeps. So please reach out to us. All those places I mentioned before. We love it when you use the Annie Potts GIF. We got one from Ghostbusters, but you could just be clever and pick something off just on your own. We also have stickers if you'd like them. Our email is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram and TikTok. Where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at brooklynfitchick for Threads and Instagram, and I'm at Brooklyn Margot for Blue Sky and the TikTok. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
In the meantime, until our next episode, be kind, be safe. Just don't be a creep.
Be a creep. Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.